Desiree's Dream. Chapter 12. Encounter with the Law. The summer sun hung like a golden pendant in the cloudless sky, its rays warm and inviting. Desi sat alone, her slender form draped across a vibrant blanket, her eyes fixed on the organ grinder and his monkey, their melodies weaving a spell around her. Like sunshine, her blonde curls fell softly around her face, accentuating her delicate features and the deep blue of her eyes. The air was a tapestry of aromas, the sweetness of baked goods from the nearby bakery, the earthy fragrance of roses in full bloom, a delightful symphony for the senses. A shiver ran through Desi as she became aware of 5 shadows falling upon her. Teenagers, their forms tall and menacing, circled like predators. She felt their eyes on her, greedy and hungry, and tightened her grip on the candy she had been enjoying. Their taunts cut through the music, cruel and mocking. "Where's your boyfriend, girl?" Their voices carried an edge that sent a chill through the warm air. Desi's heart hammered in her chest, but she lifted her chin, a display of bravery. "He's not my boyfriend," she insisted, her voice steady, belying the fear that gripped her. "He's just a friend." As she started to rise, a rough hand pushed her back down, the force of it sending her body tumbling. The impact startled her, and she looked up, wide-eyed, at the boys, their laughter ringing out like a twisted chorus. Then, as if by magic, Alex appeared. He moved with lightning speed, leaping onto the tallest boy and wrapping him in an unyielding embrace. The boy staggered, his struggles futile against Alex's grip. They tumbled over the rocks bordering the rose bushes, crashing into the thorny bushes, their cries of pain and surprise mingling with the sharp scent of torn foliage. Desi was on her feet now, her eyes reflecting the panic and fear that gripped her. "Please don't hurt him," she cried, her fists clenched, tears streaming down her cheeks. The remaining boys stood by, a mixture of emotions playing across their faces as he witnessed the chaos unfolding before them. A shrill whistle pierced the atmosphere, its sound echoing throughout the park. The shrill noise startled the battling duo, their fists still clenched in a state of aggression. The officer, a burly figure with a face like a weathered boulder, marched towards them with purposeful strides, his eyes keen and observant. Alex and the other boy, locked in their heated conflict, halted mid-punch, their eyes widening in unison as they realized the gravity of their situation. The policeman's presence was a force to be reckoned with, his authority radiating from every pore. "Explain this chaos," he boomed, his voice deep and gravelly. In a moment of panic, both boys pointed at each other, their voices overlapping. "He hit me first." The policeman's swift actions caught them off guard. With a firm grip on their ears, he yanked them upwards, their feet scrambling to catch up as the officer dragged them towards the awaiting police wagon. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears. Desi observed the scene, her hand reflexively wiping away a tear. She watched as the boys, now subdued, their youthful energy momentarily quelled, sat in the cage. As the door closed, the clanging of the police wagon's gate echoed through the park, a stark contrast to the silence that had fallen over the onlookers. She bit her lip, her heart pounding with a mix of anxiety and determination. Gathering her scattered belongings, Desi knew the alley's shortcuts and ran toward the station, her footsteps echoing on the pavement, each step a reluctant march toward the unknown. The station loomed ahead, its imposing structure a stark reminder of the severity of the situation. As the wagon drew closer, Desi, standing on the steps, offered a weak smile, her eyes conveying a mixture of worry and reassurance. From within the cage, Alex sought her out, his expression a silent plea. The metal bars did little to muffle the vehicle's sound, a grim procession marking their journey toward justice. While the boys were booked, Desi sat on a bench near the desk. She leaned into the conversation, taking in what she needed to do to help Alex. Desi pondered what to do next after the boys were taken to a holding cell. Suddenly, she had an idea that could get Alex out of jail. Instantly, Desi picked up her burlap handbag, stuffed the bag of candy in it, and left the station with a sweet delight on her tongue. Desi raced with determination the next day down the streets as the sun rose, her fishing pole in hand. With Beauregard by her side, they made their way to the river. The day at the docks, her resolve unwavering as she cast her line repeatedly. She took many breaks to eat and drink as the sun rose overhead. After many hours, her efforts paid off, and a heavy sack of fish slung over her shoulder was ready to be sold at the market. The police station loomed ahead, and Desi's steps slowed. With coins from the fish sale in her pocket, Desi felt she had a solution to her and Alex's dilemma. She sensed the weight of stares and heard the whispers that followed her. Straightening her dress, she took a deep breath, steeling herself, before stepping inside. The scent of the sea and the tang of fish filled the air as she approached the large desk, her gaze fixed on the task ahead. A tall policeman, his nose wrinkling at the odor that clung to her, looked down at Desi, his expression a mix of curiosity and skepticism. "I need to see the chief," Desi declared, her voice firm, her nerves hidden beneath a layer of determination. The officer opened his mouth to speak, but before he could object, the chief called out, "Send her in." Desi stepped into his office, her heart pounding in her chest. The formidable figure of the chief lowered his newspaper, his eyes taking in the messy girl before him with curiosity and suspicion. "What brings you here, young lady?" he asked, his tone skeptical. Desi, undaunted, planted her hands on her hips and cocked her head, meeting his gaze head-on. "I'm here to get Alex out of jail," she stated, her voice clear and unwavering. The chief's eyebrow arched in surprise, and a soft smile touched his lips. "Alex, eh? And who might this Alex be?" "My buddy," Desi replied, her voice catching as she searched for the right words. "I mean, my friend. He's here. In jail." The chief's smile softened, and he sat back, retrieving a file from his drawer. He studied its contents briefly before looking up, his eyes gentle as they rested on Desi. "Your friend is here waiting to see the judge, or he can pay a $5 fine." Desi's face fell. Her eyes dropped to the floor as she realized the magnitude of the task before her. "I don't have $5, she whispered, her voice heavy with disappointment. Then, with a determined gleam, she continued, "But I have these cakes I just got at the bakery. They're worth $1 million. With that, she opened her bag, revealing the freshly baked treats she had bartered for with her catch. The chief's laughter filled the room, deep and hearty. "Worth $1 million, you say? And how so?" Desi's eyes sparkled with a mixture of hope and determination. "A policeman said so, sir. I heard him in the bakery. He took a bite and declared it tasted like $1 million. The chief fell silent, his gaze softening as he regarded the determined girl before him. It had been long since he'd felt such a tug on his heartstrings, a feeling that had all but disappeared since before the war. Raising his voice, he called for his assistant, asking her to care for Desi, knowing her relentless spirit and unwavering loyalty deserved a reward. As Desi turned to leave, she glanced back, a mischievous grin playing on her lips, and at that moment, she caught the chief's eye. Desi winked with a smile, the chief winked back, and a bond formed in that silent exchange. And so, Desi waited on the steps, her heart filled with anticipation. When the door finally opened and Alex emerged, her heart leaped. He spotted her, and his face lit up with gratitude and joy. "Desi," he exclaimed, his eyes shining. "How did you do it? How did you raise the money?" Desi opened her arms, ready to embrace her friend, but Alex paused, a hesitant smile on his lips. "I'd love to hug you, Desi, but first, you must get cleaned up. You smell like you've been swimming in a sea of fish and have fish scales in your hair." Desi's face fell, and she pouted playfully, her lower lip jutting out in an adorable display of mock sadness. Alex's gentle ruffling of her hair conveyed his affection and gratitude. At that moment, they shared an unspoken understanding of a friendship that would endure, forever strengthened by their shared experiences.